gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus. So we've taken on all of the launch dungeons for Cataclysm, and now it's time for us to take on the launch raids. Now, people have already been asking, how are we going to approach the raids and all that stuff for Cataclysm? I kind of like how we did Wrath of the Lich King, so we're going to keep that format. We're going to singly go through the launch stuff, and then we'll bunch up the patch content as much as we can. And let's go ahead and get things started with the first, technically, one. So there were 3 raids that came out at launch for Cataclysm, and all of them were important, but this one is kind of the least important. A lot of people didn't necessarily come here unless it was for a mount run, and we're going to be taking on the raid in the elemental plane of air with the Throne of the Four Winds. So before we step in, let's go ahead and go over the lore. Al-Akir the Windlord's personal lair, the Throne of the Four Winds, glides high among Skywall's boundless vistas. Now that the barriers of the elemental plane have been ruptured, Al-Akir is free to travel Azeroth's winds at his leisure. He has mustered his fiercest tempests to scour all doom of life, and seized control of the mysterious Titan-forged halls of origination. So with that, now, technically, we've already faced one of his main followers, because in the Lost City of the Tol'vir, we took on Siamat, Lord of the South Wind. And it just so happens that the first people that we take out, or at least the first boss that we take out here, because it's a 2-boss raid, is the remaining Lords of the Winds. So this is actually going to be the Conclave of Wind. And let's go ahead and go over that lore before I kind of showcase how we do this. So starting first with the Conclave of Wind. With Siamat, Lord of the South Wind, imprisoned by the Nefeset Tol'vir, Al-Akir's lieutenants are vying to fill the power vacuum that now exists in the Conclave of Wind. The remaining Conclave members are Anshal, Lord of the West Wind, whose gales can heal allies or poison enemies. Rohash, Lord of the East Wind, whose tempests can grind the mightiest mountains to dust. And Nazir, Lord of the North Wind, whose frigid storms have claimed more lives than all of the Cardinal Windlords combined. So let me just go ahead and showcase this. So off in the distance, you can actually see Al-Akir the Windlord. So right there, you can see Al-Akir, and you have to get through the Conclave to get to him. And the way that you do that is you actually go through these platforms, and on the various platforms are all of your targets. So you need to take care of Anshal. I'm trying to remember all of their names off the top of my head. Nazir is actually behind Al-Akir, and then who's the other one? Rohash. Rohash is actually to the right. We're gonna start things off with Anshal, though, and you'd actually have to split the raid up to be able to handle the various issues that you deal with. So, for example, with Rohash, you technically only needed really a caster or two to take him down. But remember, they had to go down together, or another element was they had to go down together. Otherwise, you'd have a bigger problem on your hands. And most of your raid would actually cycle between Nazir and Anshal, just to take care of their various buffs and debuffs. We're not going to worry about that too much, though, because as we step in here, you guys will see the issue. Anshal, obviously, is very easy. So now we need to make our way over to Nazir. I have to do this quick, because if I don't, then this becomes a problem. Okay, so that's Nazir. Now we need to make our way to Rohash. And here he is. As you can see, they're actually gathering strength. And if they gather enough strength, then they resurrect. So, boom. There we go. Conclave of Wind has been taken care of. And another reason that people didn't necessarily take this on is there really wasn't any essential gear out of this place. It was a bunch of random stuff. Like I said, the only reason that people took it on was either just to have the achievements for, like, World First and all that, or the mount that eventually drops off of Al-Akir. So there's all the stuff. So you have a Thunderwall belt. All of that has been kind of taken care of over time. It looks like they're not even random stats anymore. So now that we've taken care of that, now we need to make our way to Al-Akir. And the way you do that is the slipstreams right in the middle of the room will all of a sudden take you to the central platform to take on the Windlord himself. And a lot of people actually confuse this guy with Thunderon, the guy who gives you Thunder Fury. No, Thunderon is the prince. He's the son of Al-Akir. He's the guy below him. Al-Akir is the big bad. So let's go over Al-Akir's lore. Gifted with great intelligence and cunning, Al-Akir the Windlord once served as the foremost tactician in the old god's horrific armies. In the wake of the Cataclysm, he has aligned with Deathwing and turned his godlike powers against many of the air elementals' ancient Tolvir nemesis. So with that, basically you're going to be dealing with a windstorm unlike anything you've ever seen. It actually eventually does get into kind of a Malagos situation where everybody's in the air trying to take him out. But let's go and take out Al-Akir the Windlord, which is not that hard, as you guys can tell. So yeah, he shatters the platform, and now you actually have to take him out in the air. So all you got to do is get up to him, and boom! And we've killed the Windlord. Oops, them's the brakes. Now, fun fact, if you have a shaman who's done the Legion campaign, a new Windlord is in place, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and loot the Heart of Wind and see what we got. Just a bunch of random stuff. It does look like I got a couple of transmogs, so that's going to be awesome. But no mount. Sorry, guys. And that actually is it for the Throne of the Four Winds. So when we come back next week, we'll be taking on a rehash, or at least an inspired rehash, of an old raid as we head into Blackwing Descent. We'll see you guys then.